This is my W Pro 10 from Weaver. I just got it last week of October 2016. So just want to go over a few things that I did differently. I mounted these things first. And what I did was I put a giant T-square across the back of this, laid a tape all the way across, touching this corner right here, that corner right there, and made sure that the T-square, when squared up with the back of this, was facing or laying along the tape. And since I set it at the wide or standard, then I want 137 inches between the back of this base here and the back of this one here. Now, I also chose to put a clamp to hold the hydraulic line in place, because when you unload that cylinder, when there's no load on here, that thing's going to jump around, and I don't want that happening. For the fittings, you're going to push your hydraulic line. They don't make this clear, but you're going to push your hydraulic line through this channel. Okay? That protects the hydraulic line. And if you move your carriage out of the way, you can get to it. You're going to tighten your fittings by moving the carriage out of the way. Now, I do that without the cables, or before I connect the cables. Something else they don't make clear is when setting your cables inside the carriage, there are two places to lock your cable, or to get your cable to bolt to. There's a lower plate and then there's a higher plate. In order for me to have enough slack, I had to bolt mine to the higher plate. So you put a nut and a washer on there, and then you pull it through the higher plate. If you do it on the lower plate, you're not going to have enough slack. That's just a fact. Now up top, I pre-wired that box up there that turns it off and on with 10 gauge wire. I used about 6 feet. And you can see how I clamped it down here, all the way down the sides. And then all I do is use that switch to interrupt the common or the ground path. So you wire up your 2 hots and then you interrupt your common path, and it should interrupt it. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm going to soon. Now up top, they want you to set your slack up like this for your hydraulic line. Now, if you don't put a clamp, this is what I added. If you don't put a clamp up inside here to hold the hose, then all your slack's gonna risk getting tangled up with your cables and chafed and all that. Yeah, that's not cool. And then for your line, your cable, your release cable, you put one of the blocks there and one here. And then to manage the hydraulic line, I just looped a little zip tie in and out so that it stays in between, doesn't touch the cable. I zip tied it here in the middle, and then it's got to cross over, so then I zip tied it here off to the side, then I put the clamp that they provided over here, okay? Just wanted to secure everything. That's pretty much it. And see, here's the box. Just pre-wire it with some 10 or 12 gauge wire. 12 gauge should suffice since it's so short, but I have 10 gauge, so that's what I did. You have to forgive the camera shake. I'm running up and down a ladder here. These things aren't hard to install. I just don't like their instructions, so I figured I'd help out a little bit. I mounted my electric box here, as you can see. And these are 220. They use black and white and green for colors, but these motors are 220. Don't make the mistake of running 110, or you'll regret it. I hope some of you guys find this helpful. It's a great lift. I'm happy with it so far.